This is the Lady DISDAIN Tabata workout. It's largely body weight. It's going to be tremendous for foot and ankle fitness, and also just for core fitness and overall body fitness. You'll get maximal results in minimal time with a workout like this. It's going to be 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off for each exercise, alternating for 4 minutes with those 20-second on, 10-second off intervals. And we're going to go through the exercise one at a time. First one off is high heel stationary lunges. Now the high heel stationary lunge, you would want to be sideways to a wall, holding onto it with the near side hand, or in this case, I can hold on to the backrest of this bench. You're going to have one leg forward, one leg back. Now my heels are up on both feet. That's heel down, that's heel up. You want to make sure the heels stay up the whole time. They're never allowed to touch the ground during this exercise. So you just keep your hand on something, and then you just bend the knees to lunge down, and you return back up. Now you want to make sure that this lead knee isn't going really far past the toe like that, because that can put a lot of pressure on it. So you just make sure you lengthen your stride. You're going up and down. You're going to feel this in the quads, and you're going to be working your foot and ankle stabilizers. Now, a progression is to press your palms together and to do the exercise like this. Without holding on to anything, there's increased stability demands. Your muscles are going to work much harder. And then a further progression is to hold a weight vertically in front of your chest. And when you hold it vertically, you grip the top end plate like this. You'll have that one leg forward, the other leg back, heels up, and you're lunging up and down just like so. You alternate legs each set. However, a progression, if you're up for it, is to do 8 sets with one leg forward, 8 sets with the other leg forward, once you work your way up to it. The next exercise we're going on to is wood chop squats. So you're going to have your feet wide apart. You're going to have your hands together like this. You're going to bring your arms up overhead. Now you're going to open up the groin and squat down, swing the arms down across one thigh, down across the other thigh. Just like this, like you're chopping wood. Now there are a couple of progressions here. One is to hold a weight. I like to hold a weight in a bow tie position when I'm doing this. And what I'll do is, I'll start off overhead, but I kind of turn it sideways so I can get it around the thigh. And then sideways so I can get it around the thigh. So you can see that I start like this, but I turn it that way to get it around the thigh on either side. Now a further progression, and you can do this with or without the weight, is to add a vertical hop when you come back to the middle. So it would be like this. You have the weight overhead, down, hop, down, hop, down, hop, down, like so. That's going to be a great exercise for the hips, thighs, the twist pattern. You're going to get some obliques in. And it's going to get your heart rate going when you work in that hop. It really gets the blood flow moving. The next exercise is high heel standing side leg raises. So you'd hold on to something and you'd have the heel up on the standing leg. Okay? Then you raise this leg all the way up and out to the side. So just to give you a different view, if you're to see me from this angle here, if I were to hold on to the backrest, you can see that my heel is up on my standing leg and I'm doing side leg raises. So essentially I'm supporting my whole body on the ball of the foot, so that's going to work all those little foot and ankle stabilizers while exercising the outside of the hip. A progression here is to have your hand behind your head with your elbows pushed back, or your elbow pushed back, so that you're tightening up the upper back muscles. So that's going to get a little bit of upper body posture in right there to make it a little bit more challenging. A further progression would be to take a looped mini band like this, okay, or you could use a tubing ankle weight, and you just wrap this around your ankles, and you do the exercise, heel up again, and that elastic tube is really going to challenge your ankle stability and your your hip stability. Makes it a tremendous exercise. It's a great progression there. Now, the next one we're going on to is the T squeeze knee push-ups. I'm just going to make a little bit of room because I want to be able to show you a couple angles of this one so that you fully understand what's going on here. Now, with this movement, you're going to be doing a push-up, okay? So you go all the way up, you go all the way down. Then when you get to the bottom of the push-up, you rest your chest on the ground. You bring your arms out to the sides in a T, and you squeeze the shoulder blades together. Then you bring them back in, push up, down, fling your arms out to the side, squeeze those shoulder blades together. So this motion is really initiated from the shoulder blades, and repeat. That way we're going to be working your upper back, your posture, your rear shoulder muscles, in addition to the chest, triceps, and shoulders that we typically work with a push-up. So I'm just going to show you a couple angles of this one here. So we're going to be starting from the knees. So you go all the way down, up, T squeeze, push up. T squeeze, push up. T squeeze, push up. Now just to give you a side view. All right, down, T squeeze, push up. T squeeze, push up. Now a progression here is to rebound your hands off the ground about an inch when you do the push-up. So it's a little bit of an explosive push-up. So you do your T squeeze, explode up. T squeeze, explode up. Just like that. Just to give you a front view. T squeeze, explode up. T squeeze, explode up. That is really going to make a big jump in how difficult that exercise is. You're really going to feel it working those muscles a lot more once you add the rebound into it. The next exercise we're going to be doing is the heel up hammer curl. So you're going to be standing on one leg with your heel elevated. Now you're going to notice I use a lot of heel elevated posturing in this workout. When you have your heel elevated, you're going to work the tibialis posterior muscle, and that hooks onto the bones of the midfoot and pulls up like a stirrup to give you arches. Lots of times people have dropped arches and flat arches because that muscle's so deconditioned. It also works the peroneals on the outside of the lower leg, which prevents you from rolling your ankle outward, and also prevents you from getting high arches. So whenever you're standing with the heel elevated, you're posturally preventing lots of foot and ankle derangements, such as high and low arches, or outward collapsing ankle, inward collapsing ankle, all kinds of things. So it's fantastic for all of that. So for here, I'm going to have my heel, that's down, that's up. You keep your heel up, and you do hammer curls like this. Now, if you don't have a dumbbell for this exercise, you can take a bag, a felt or fabric grocery bag works well. Fill it with 3 to 6 cans or even bottles of juice and whatever you want, just to give you that good 10 to 20 pound weight here. So this is going to be the level 1 variation of the exercise. So do the hammer curl. Now for level 2, you're going to add a pump at the top. Now for a pump, you're going to go up, down about an inch, back up, then all the way down. All the way up, down an inch, back down. So that's the way it'll go there. And this is a hammer grip, so when you're doing this, the grip is sideways, and that works the long head of the bicep, which is the greater and larger of the bicep muscle group. So theoretically, for aesthetics and stuff, it does help to target a little bit more muscle. Now the next one is the forearm to hand plank. This is going to be a great core exercise, but it's also really big for the triceps. Okay? So it's a push movement, but it's really a core movement as well. And I'm going to give you a couple different views on this one so you can really understand what's going on. So what I do here is this. Usually I like to start off, on your forearms, just like so, ankles crossed, feet up in the air. Then you go plant one hand down and push up, then plant the other hand So you're up in a push-up position. Now you go back down to forearms. Back up to hands, back down to forearms. Now I'm leading with my right arm. My right arm goes first, my right arm goes down first. Right arm goes up first, right arm goes down first. Each set, I alternate which arm goes first. So in set 2, left arm goes up first, left arm goes down first. Okay? Just so that we're mixing it up. Now just a front view, just like this. I go down onto a forearm, down onto the other forearm, up onto the hand, up onto the hand. Okay? And we want to limit rocking too much side to side. Try to keep your core stiff so that you can resist all of that unwanted movement. Now, a progression here is to do this with your upper body elevated on a bench. So I would take the exercise bench here, and I will show you how to do that variation. So the knee variation is quite tough, actually, and most people, I'd probably say 90%, 95%, don't move beyond that. And that's regular exercisers. So if you don't move beyond that progression, you're okay. The progression is to do this with your forearms on the bench, go up on your hand, forearms, okay? And then a further progression would be to do all of this from your feet, hands and feet, just like this. That would be a further progression. Now, in the event that doing it from your knees is too hard, the initial version, if it's too hard, then one of the versions I use for people who need it is on the wall, leaning forward. And you could do that one if you really had to, or if you find your arms are totally burnt out as you go through the set. Now the last exercise here we're going to be going with is the dying bug backstroke. This is a really good core exercise. Commonly, you'll hear this exercise referred to as dead bugs. However, I call it dying bug because a dead bug wouldn't actually move. But a dying bug, who's in the process of passing away, is going to move in the way demonstrated in this exercise. So to start off, you can have your arms and legs up in the air. Now, I like to peel the back of the hips up off the floor to engage the abs. And it's a difference of this. So here's me with the back of my hips on the ground. This is me with them peeled. So the back of my hips are just curled off the ground a little bit, tailbone's not touching. Now from this position here, I lower the opposite arm and leg, then I bring them up. Oh, sorry, I'm not using the weights yet. The weights are a progression. So I lower the opposite arm and leg, and then I bring them up. The other arm and leg, and I bring them up. It takes coordination. Just remember that at any given time, there's always two limbs pointing to the sky. I always see people doing stuff like this, and they're lowering, and they're doing weird, different, almost like interpretive dance. And it really comes down to coordination, and really comes down to brain hemisphere integration. So a lot of times if people are very left-brained from stress and work, then it's hard to do a coordinated movement like this because it requires the integration of your left and right brain hemisphere, and a lot of times we don't work them in a balanced way in the average workday. Now, doing the exercise will actually be great for your brain. So if you find that you're struggling with coordination, then you need this more, and you have additional benefits to the core training benefits. The progression here would be to hold on to weights and do this exercise holding some small weights. And I like to point my toes up to the sky when I'm doing this. I find it just, for some reason, it just hits the abs a little bit harder when you do that. So, that concludes the Lady Disdain Tabata workout. Amazing for the core and for foot and ankle fitness and health. It's amazing. Even if you don't have a problem or concern in that area, it's good to do stuff like this every now and then just to bulletproof your fitness. because our feet are the first point of contact with the world. So if you have sloppy fitness in your feet, well, all the way up your kinetic chain, you're going to have to compensate for that sloppiness or lack of stabilization below at the point of contact. So really good athleticism starts with really good feet, and it helps to prevent aches and pains and gives you a good foundation for building your fitness. That is Lady Disdain, named after the Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing. And there's definitely a lot of something in it for you when you tackle